the stern, her dark sunglasses pushed up slightly by the pinch in her nose as she frowned. We wouldn't normally have chatted in the boat. The motor, sea, and wind all competed with the sound of our voices, requiring us to shout. But she'd been acting strangely all day. Strangely, ever since news of Ginny Merrill's memorial service had reached us. "You okay?" I bellowed, though I knew what she would answer. "Fine." A pleasant smile appeared and disappeared just as quickly. Along the east side of the harbor, I spotted our tour boat, the Jackie II, bringing guests out to Morro Island for the luncheon seating at the Snowden Family Clambake. On board, Captain George pointed out the sights and sounds of the harbor over the boat's sound system. Mom heard him too and turned her head toward the sound. My late father had named the boat, and its predecessor, Jackie, for her. It was an inside joke. No one who knew my mother would ever call her by any nickname. She was Jacqueline to one and all. Dad had been gone for 11 years, claimed by cancer in a long, wasting death. A battle to the end, as was his way. Lately, Mom had been keeping company with Captain George. I grinned at the old-fashioned expression, though I couldn't think of a better one to describe their relationship. Before the start of Snowden Family Clambake season this spring, Mom and I had moved into Winsholme, the newly renovated mansion on Morro Island that had been in my mother's family for 140 years. The move had deprived George and Mom of the time they'd spent together in past tourist seasons, when she'd commuted daily on the boat from her house in Busman's harbor to her job at the Clambake. Now, during the hours when he waited to return the tourists to the harbor, they often found the captain hanging around the Clambake gift shop, where Mom worked. They were like a couple of teenagers standing for hours by their lockers, never running out of things to say. I had teased them once or twice, but it hadn't gone well, so I'd given it up. The Jackie II slipped by on our port side, 100 feet away, headed in the other direction. I turned my attention to Chipmunk Island, growing ever larger straight ahead. The island was called Chipmunk, not because the little mammals were abundant there, but because it had a chipmunk shape when viewed from the air. The small marina where we'd leave the whaler was around the other side, facing Busman's harbor. As we came up on the island, I steered around the chipmunk's tail, giving it a wide berth, careful of the rocks. In the marina, a helpful resident in colorful Bermuda shorts indicated where we should tie up when I told him our business. He lent a hand to Mom, and then to me as we climbed out of the boat. Mom was in a simple black linen dress. I wore a navy pencil skirt and a sleeveless blouse in a lighter blue. Not exactly the best clothes for climbing out of a boat at low tide, but we were headed to a memorial service, after all. I started to ask the man for directions, but Mom interrupted. "I know where we're going, thanks." Mom set off confidently. I followed her up a short track from the dock to the start of a wooden boardwalk. I wasn't sure why we were here. I couldn't remember having met Ginny Merrill once, even during my childhood. We were at the start of our short, brutally busy season at the Snowden Family Clambake, fully booked for lunch and dinner. Mom and I had to find substitutes to fill our clambake jobs, something not easy to do this early in the summer when we weren't yet fully staffed. But Mom had insisted she must go, and she had asked me to accompany her. My mother was generous with my sister and me, asking for little in return. I'd felt I had to say yes. Now that I was on the island, I was growing more intrigued. Mom charged ahead, up the steep track that led from the dock onto a boardwalk, which was also on an incline. She hurried on as if we were late, which we were not. "You know the way?" I asked. I'd never heard my mother speak of visiting Chipmunk Island, ever. Mom nodded, not slowing. "Like the back of my hand. I visited Ginny's house all the time when I was a teenager." "Really?" Mom's pace made conversation difficult, even as I managed to remain at her side. Maybe that was the point. There were no roads on Chipmunk, no cars. 100 houses ringed the island, each with a water view. The boardwalk meandered along the edge, providing access to each house. At one point, as we walked, the trees and houses...